IT Nation Grow. Had the great pleasure of attending IT Nation Grow in December 2024 at ConnectWise headquarters downtown Tampa. Great event. Talk about mergers and acquisition, about growing your MSP. There was buyers there, sellers there. Just a great event and a great community that's being generated from it. I had a great opportunity to talk to 10 individuals while I was there. Really great conversations, really diverse group from very different backgrounds, some MSPs, some bankers, some PE firms, some vendors, really great conversations there. And I enjoyed every single one of them. It got crowded at particular points. Some of the audio might be tricky. It was a great event, IT Nation Grow, December 2024. I look forward to doing many, many more. Thank you, all 10 of you, for your time spending your time with me, having a conversation and listening to my questions. Thanks again.
Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because of working way too much. I found myself at 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. I took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People ask me, how'd you do it? What's the secret? I need to lose weight. How'd you do it? How did I lose the weight? Just one word: discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission: how do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision: growth through learning from others.
This sounds Puntillo. Let me think about that. Puntillo. I don't know what that means. Puntillo.
It was made up on Ellis Island.
Oh, was it? Oh, they cut it up.
I know they were potentially trying to get away from some people in Italy and didn't want them to be able to trace by their names. So
yeah, that happened.
It was quite a few years back.
Where are you from?
From Northwest Indiana. I live up in Chicago now.
And what are some of your hobbies?
Buying MSPs.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of in technology most of my career, most of my life.
I say.
Was always trying to figure out where I fit in the technology space, and kind of fell backwards into providing tech services for business, and found out about the MSP world, and since then I've been pretty involved in it.
You just kind of stumbled into it.
I did, yeah. So I studied business technology in college, and then actually while I was in school still, worked in the
Northwestern?
I did my master's degree at Northwestern.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was Notre Dame undergrad.
Yeah. Are you an athlete, Charlie?
I boxed in college, but
you boxed?
Not really an athlete anymore.
I see. Are you right-handed?
I am right-handed.
Wow. Boxing. I don't know any boxers. What's it like taking a punch?
Yeah, I mean, you learn. I learned a lot of business skills from it, honestly.
Yes.
The old expression of everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
So you learn pretty quickly. Learn to be calm when things are not going well around you, and I think that's been helpful in a lot of situations in business and life that I've been in moving forward. Yeah.
How did you get into boxing?
I was too small for football. Yeah. So my father and his father both played football at Notre Dame.
They played at Notre Dame?
They did, yeah. And I was too small. They didn't want me. So I got to campus and I said, well, I got to do something. So I found out about the boxing team there, and it's club sport, and did it all. All 4 years.
NCAA doesn't have boxing, right?
No, back in the 80s they got rid of it. There was some pretty bad injuries. So it's all club. Big at Notre Dame though. There's about 100 guys that do a tournament every year. Yeah.
So when you're literally toe-to-toe with somebody and they're another right-hander, I mean, is it more defense or offense, Charlie? I can't imagine boxing somebody.
Yeah. It depends, right? Like you need the biggest lesson is a lot of times when people get hit, they freeze up.
Right.
They either drop their hands or they freeze up, in a shell position.
Yes.
Try to stop it. But you gotta really think fast and analyze where the punches are coming from and be able to throw them back. So,
Analyze where the punches are coming from.
yeah.
And too many times they go to the head when hitting in the body can be just as debilitating.
It's true. Yeah. A lot of people, it's easier to punch at the head. And,
Right.
But a lot of times they leave their body open. So, it's there's a lot you can learn, and a lot I learned about doing it over the last 4 years, or 4 years while I was in school. But
Amazing.
since then, not as much.
The state of boxing now, tough place.
Yeah. I mean, as post college, my head is how I make my money.
Right. So
Not-
you can. Have you been concussed? Do you think?
I have, yeah. Not through boxing though. All through when I played football, basketball, and then there was maybe one in boxing, but not confirmed there.
Yeah, it's a great sport. I don't know if I know any boxers. I've talked to a few, but
Sure.
it's fun. So you went to school and you did business tech. You did business. What was
Yeah,
your-
it was called IT management.
IT
They've
management.
since rebranded it to business technology. It's in the under the business school.
It's under the business school. And what was your attraction there?
Traction.
Attraction. Why did you
Attraction.
like
Yeah.
it? Sorry.
So I've always loved technology, right? Like that's what I loved. I knew I didn't want to be, full on computer science major making something. I've always enjoyed kind of how can I use technology to build a business. So I was in school. I did actually start up out in San Francisco. Tried running that, getting off the ground for a couple of years.
Wow.
Was not successful, but learned a lot of lessons. I was not the founder, but one of the early guys in, and got to learn a lot about what's out there, the VC market, and how hard it is to run a business that has no cash flow.
Yeah. What's your lessons learned there?
Yeah, cash flow is king, right? That's how I've kind of found my way more into the private equity side now, because VC is great. You can hit a lot of super home runs with Google, other great investments that they've had, but I value cash flow, right? MSPs. The revenue quality of MSPs is as good as any business out there.
It's recurring.
It's recurring.
Yeah.
It's critical. You can't get rid of technology.
Right.
Every business needs their
They have no
computers,
choice.
right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to sell, and there's a lot of competition in this space. There's a reason for that, and it's because it's such a good business to be in.
So we're here at IT Nation Grow, downtown Tampa, ConnectWise headquarters. What are some of your goals here? Why are you here?
I'm just looking to learn. There's a lot of smart people in that room over there, and I want to hear what they have to say. So part of it is giving back and helping others and sharing the information that I have and the knowledge that I have when I can. But a lot of it for me is getting to meet people in the MSP space and then learning from what other people are doing. I think you can learn a lot more from being in person and talking with other people than you can over the internet or researching as much as you want. Yeah.
Excuse me, or over webinar. Yeah, absolutely. So why work with MSPs?
Yeah, I mean, first, I'm passionate about it. I
Yeah.
love the services they deliver. I'm frankly kind of nerd out sometimes about the technologies that they could deliver to their clients, how things work. Second is the revenue quality, right? Their recurring revenue percentage. It's a growing market. It's growing at double digit year over year. It's fragmented still. While there's a lot of big players in the space, there's still a lot of smaller players. And yeah, I mean, I like the services we deliver. And that's kind of one of the keys, right? Is you feel as an MSP, they deliver something that's helping people every day.
They really are.
Businesses can function without them, and it's it feels good to help enable a business to do to hire people on their own and grow on their own.
The small and medium business is the backbone of the world economy, and MSPs are supporting them. So what do you do there at Dune Creek Capital?
Yeah, so I founded Dune Creek Capital.
Oh, you founded it?
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, at the beginning, actually, we launched in July of this year.
Wow.
So we're currently looking for our first platform acquisition in the space. strong MSP that
You're
has
looking
somebody-
for a platform, or
we
you're
are looking for a
or you're
platform.
creating a platform.
We're looking for a platform investment. So
I
what we
see.
would call that is, say, above $1 million EBITDA, somebody with a good team in place. Typically, it's an owner that is already kind of considered inorganic growth on their own, but doesn't have the expertise to execute it, the team, the capital behind them. We talked in there a lot about, you're an MSP expert, right? But you're not an M&A expert.
Right.
And what I could bring is the M&A expertise and my team and the capital and the know-how on how to build this inorganically.
So your ideal MSP is plus $1 million in bottom line in EBITDA.
Yeah, plus $1 million. I'd say 1 to 6 EBITDA. So pretty broad range there, but and somebody, the biggest characteristic we look for is somebody that wants to grow. An owner that wants a true partner in this. There's plenty of guys you could sell to in the other room there, but for us the key is you'll be the first company in for us. So you're going to be a partner. We're tied together. You're not one of 90 businesses that we're have in our portfolio. Like you get a real seat at the table here, and we're picking, specifically being pretty selective on our first investment for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, getting the first one under your belt, and it can't be a tuck-in. It's got to be somebody legitimate size. That one.
Yep. And if you look at the other MSP platforms, the ones that have been successful are the ones that got the first investment right. So I know Courtier's in the other room. They said it took them 1.5 years to find their first business.
Did it really? Evergreen?
That was not Evergreen. That was the shore-backed one.
Yeah.
Evergreen, I don't know how long it took, but patience on the front end pays dividends in the back end. That's for sure.
So let's say the MSP is within that revenue or EBITDA range. What else is another factor?
Yeah, I mean, so size, organic growth. Have a organic growth engine in place. I already touched on like the owner persona.
Right.
And then I think one of the biggest points, and a question that I ask often is, why do you win deals? You have to have a right to win. A lot of MSPs, the space is becoming increasingly commoditized. You could just get a kind of basic starter Kaseya package and deliver some of the products if you want to.
Yeah.
So what differentiates you from the guy down the street selling what your clients think is the same product? And in order to get a good answer for that, I mean, is key. And different MSPs have different answers.
Yeah, they sure do. And once once you kind of get that persona, due diligence takes a while. I mean, what should the MSP have? At that level, they probably have some layers of middle management. I mean, do you look for a peer group, EOS? Do you look for these kinds of things?
Yeah, those are all bonuses. We discussed in there at a couple hours ago is you have to have the basic financials down. Right. In order to get through the door phase one, you have to have specific financial metrics, show that you're growing a little bit, have a specific size, have a specific amount of recurring revenue. But then once you get past that point, in order to really determine if you're going to be a good partner, it's the things you're talking about. I think the Evolve peer groups are some of the best peer groups out there, maybe the best peer group. It's just a different level of sophistication from the MSPs that I've seen in those peer groups versus others. And frankly, it helps to have a network of people, other MSP owners that maybe want to sell into our platform as well and do something with you. Because if we trust you and they trust you, it makes the deal process in the future a lot easier.
It sure does. And geography is relevant.
Yeah, east of Denver.
East of Denver. Why not? I mean, Denver's what kind of. Why?
Yeah, I live in Chicago.
You want to be
so
close by.
So I promised the wife a 2.5-hour flight home.
Yeah, because LA will be a little too. Yeah, but New York's not bad. Yeah,
New York's not bad.
Chicago.
Yeah, Florida's not bad.
Yeah, Florida's not bad.
Texas isn't bad. Because it's likely that we would have to relocate wherever the platform acquisition is. which we're excited to do. But it's, we just want to be able to get home to family when we need to.
Yeah, yeah. And why would an MSP want to be part of your platform?
Yeah, I mean, for the first investment here, it's you have the opportunity to really shape how this goes. There's not many other partners out there that you would be the first one and have a real seat at the table here. You'd get to roll more equity. So you'd retain, we always talk about this second bite at the apple.
Right.
You'd retain a lot more of that, right? Like we want someone that's going to stay on board and help us through that. So there's the personal reasons of wanting to drive it. There's the financial reasons. And I guess you'd really have to just believe in the vision. There's evidence out there in the other room that it goes really well for the first few investments that sell to a platform. If you look at some of Evergreen's or the other players' first investments, they usually do the best. There's a strong end market that we're selling into. If you look at deals like the Purple guys that got done earlier this year.
Yeah.
And we think that over the next 5 to 7 years, that market's just going to get hotter.
Yeah, it sure is.
So if you could be, part of something bigger, you'd get to enjoy the expansion of the multiple, hopefully in the future. And, kind of have success with us.
And will you be injecting a new sales engine or augmenting that into this platform? Like, what's going to be the participation of your group with that first acquisition?
Yeah, we'll be pretty hands-on.
I see.
So I'll probably work from there every day.
Ah.
And we'll be busy, obviously, with integrations and other things in the future. But it's very important to us to get the first investment right. And that is, working with you to implement a lot of the best practices that you're probably already being taught through your peer groups here. So we'll bring in the resources and needed and my time and everything that I bring to the table to get you to that point. So if it is a sales team, if it's moving on to a different vendor, whatever it may be, we're going to make sure that it's kind of best in practice or best in class practices.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. And so you want to take your time getting the first one because you want it to be right.
Exactly.
Have you had close calls?
Had a few.
Yeah.
There's always legal problems that come up.
Yeah.
It's a relationship game. So we've been working on a few. We've got a few in the pipeline now that are exciting. But again, it's, there's only so many 2 million EBITDA,
right,
3 million, whatever MSPs out there.
Yeah.
And we're, okay fishing in that pond because we believe we offer something differentiated than the others out there. And when we find the right partner, it'll be worth it.
So is there something that you've changed your mind on in the last month or so?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I've changed my mind about 5 times today.
Did you today on lunch?
Yeah, just what I've seen of what other people are doing out there.
The content.
Right? I mean, there's a lot of great things in the space, and I'm constantly learning. Like, I only went in the MSP space full time since July.
Wow!
So just learning other people's perspectives on the space. I mean, there's a lot of things that. Kind of like what you talked about in the last interview I watched is, the core values and core beliefs don't change, but you're maybe more open when you hear how other people are doing things of considering those ways about achieving your goals.
Absolutely. Were you at IT Nation?
I was not. I couldn't make the IT Nation. Yeah.
That was great.
At a lot of the other ones, though.
Yeah, Connect was great. Yeah, there was 9 of us podcasters there. So I think you heard my story with David. I'll repeat it just briefly. I started my MSP in the 90s. I'm from the Northeast. I'm from New Haven. And was working way too hard, Charlie. And then I got up to 340 pounds. The doctor says to me, if I don't lose the weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. And I lost about 130 pounds in 6-7 months. And people ask me, you never had a weight issue, did you? You look like you've always been in good shape.
Yeah, well, with boxing, you had to.
Right, yeah, you had to sweat it out.
It's the heaviest I've ever been, though.
Is
so
that right?
I got to get back down.
How tall are you?
6'2".
6'2". Good for you. Discipline is how I lost weight and how I keep it off, right?
Yep.
How does discipline play a role in your life?
Yeah, I mean, and I say this a lot to my wife, it probably annoys her, but I think there's disciplines in everything you do. So whether it's the alarm goes off in the morning and you have the choice to hit snooze or wake up, Yeah, my opinion is that you always got to wake up, and it's not because it's okay. You need the extra 10 minutes to get ready, but it's about teaching yourself to do things that you don't want to do. So it happens, little things like that in business, and I mean, I'm sure with you, it's and I deal with this too with food, right? I'd love to eat that, but probably not good for me.
Right.
So it's sticking to a workout routine and committing to be your best self, whether it's for you or for others around you. We only get to live once, so I think it's important to live a life that you're proud of.
Did your Sicilian father impose discipline, or was just kind of expected?
Yeah, I think he
Went to Notre Dame, played football.
I think he was pretty strict, but around high school, I think he just said, it's your decisions now. You're the one that has to live with them, and so I'm not gonna say if you did something good or bad. Right? It's up to you. It's your life. I'm not the one that has to live with the choices. You actually.
It's very Italian.
Yeah, his saying was always, it's the choices you make, right?
Yeah.
And it's, the choices you make shape your life.
Huh.
So.
Well, very cool, Charlie. I appreciate your time. Anybody listening, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, you could go on my LinkedIn. It's just Charlie Puntillo. It's spelled Puntillo.
Pun.
Yep.
And your website and your email?
Yeah, it's DuneCreekCapital.com is the website. And then the email is just charlie@DuneCreekCapital.com.
DuneCreekCapital.com. Your last name, Puntillo. Puntillo.
Yep.
Charlie,
Nailed it.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.